Hi everybody, this is Eugene O'Loughlin, lecturer in computing at the National College of Ireland, and in this short video we're going to learn how to create a Windows Media video using PowerPoint and Windows Movie Maker. In this video what we'll do is we'll first of all create a simple PowerPoint presentation that we can use. Then we're going to look at how we narrate a voiceover for that presentation, and then we're going to import those presentation slides and the audio that we create into Windows Movie Maker. And finally we'll finish up in Windows Movie Maker by creating a video. So the first thing to do is create a simple PowerPoint presentation. I've created one here. It's only got 4 slides in it, not much material. It's just for demonstration purposes. It's created using a standard Windows PowerPoint template. So if I want to record a narration for this, under the slideshow menu at the top of the screen, there is a record narration option highlighted by my red arrow here. Select that option to begin the process of creating your voiceover. Next up will pop a record narration dialog box like you see here. This gives us several options. One of the first things we should do is to set the microphone level. When we click on the Set Microphone Level button, we get a small little microphone check dialog box for which we can check our voice settings. I'm speaking at a natural tone using my headset here, and the colours will show up whether that's too loud or whether it is too low. Click OK when you're happy with the microphone check. The next thing, it's optional whether to do this, but I like to do it, is to check the checkbox for link narrations at the bottom left hand corner of the record narration dialog box pointed out by my red arrow here. You can select a location by clicking on the browse button where you want your audio files to be located. What this does is it will create an audio file for each of the slides that you create. So for example, this presentation that I have behind here has got 4 slides, and checking this box will create 4 separate audio files for that. Then click OK. When you click OK, your PowerPoint presentation will run as normal, and this is the first introductory slide on my PowerPoint presentation. So I would do my voiceover as I'm doing to you now using my PowerPoint presentation. So let's proceed through the presentation. In slide number 1, it's blank for the purpose of the demonstration here, but here's where I put my material for slide number 1. On the next slide I'll have some more material, and on my last slide I would have my final material, perhaps a summary and so on. When I click my mouse or hit a keyboard on the last slide, I'll get my usual end of slideshow, click to exit black dialog screen, and this time you'll see PowerPoint displays a dialog box asking you telling you that the narrations have been saved with each slide, and do you want to save the slide timings as well. I'll normally click on the save button here. When you click on the save button, you go back to your normal PowerPoint display, and you will now notice that there is a small speaker icon at the bottom of each slide that you see here. I've pointed one out in red. You can hide these if you want to, but for the moment I'm just going to leave them here. If you open up Windows Explorer or Windows Explorer, you will see that a WAV file has been created for each of the 4 slides. Windows PowerPoint gives each WAV file its name associated with the presentation, so you can see the 4 files that are created there. And this is handy because if you've made a mistake, as I've made a couple as I've gone along here, you could go back over each individual file and maybe edit out the mistakes or just re-record that one slide. Saves you having to do the whole lot again. One of the things that we can't do with Windows Movie Maker is we can't import PowerPoint directly into Windows Movie Maker. We can import the audio files which you've just seen, but we also need to import the slides. So one of the options in PowerPoint is that you can actually save your slides in graphical format. The format that I like is a GIF format. I find it's a little bit better than JPEG, but this of course will depend on the quality of your slides. So when you click File Save As, you get the options in the Save As type. I've pointed out with my red arrow here the GIF graphics interchange format. So select that and click on Save. And this will once again, it will create a graphic, a GIF file for each of the slides in your presentation. So my presentation here had 4 slides, so PowerPoint saves the GIF files with slide 1, 2, 3 and 4. So now I'm finished with PowerPoint. I've got my audio, my 4 audio files, and I've got my 4 slides saved as graphics. I now open up Windows Movie Maker, and this is the blank Windows Movie Maker desktop that you see here in front of you. The first thing I want to do is import my graphics. So on the Movie Tasks panel on the left hand side, under the Capture Video, there is an Import Pictures option highlighted with the red arrow on the left hand side. So if I select that, it will bring up the Import File dialog box that you see here. So all you need to do is select all of the slides or all of the graphics that you want to import and click on the Import button highlighted here with the second red arrow. And when you do that, you'll see that the slide GIF files have been imported into Windows Movie Maker, and on the display on the right hand side you can see one of the slides is actually displayed in the viewer. Next, I want to import my audio files, so I click on the Import Audio or Music option on the left hand side, again highlighted with my red arrow. This brings up the Import File dialog box, and browse until you get to your files. You've seen these files before. These are my 4 WAV files associated with my 4 slides. Select those 4 WAV files and click on the Import button. On my Windows Movie Maker desktop, I can now see my 4 graphics and my 4 WAV files, my 4 sound files. Next, all I need to do is import those down into the timeline storyboard that you see at the bottom part of your screen. You can do this all in one go, or you can do these in one at a time. I have selected all 8 files, 4 audio and 4 graphics, and just simply drag them down onto the timeline at the bottom of the screen, and this is what you see here. Now you can see already that the slides are out of sync, if you like, with the 4 audio files down at the bottom of the screen. So we need to line those up, otherwise our audio files would continue on while we're still on the same slide. You can see here we've got 4 slides, but the audio would be finished approximately halfway through the presentation, so we need to sync these up. So what we do is we line the slides up with the audio files to make sure that they are given the appropriate length. So let's do that. This is a relatively straightforward process here. If you just click on the slide number 1, in this case here, I'm pointing out with the red arrow, and just drag to the left hand side so as that it's synced up with the size of the audio file down at the bottom, you'll see a blue line appearing directly under the red arrow that I point out here. So drag slide number 1 slightly to the left to line it up with audio file number 1. And you do this for each of all the slides in your presentation until you can see that there's a match between your audio files and the slide duration. You're now ready to create the movie. So the first thing to do is to save your file to your computer. So select the Save to My Computer option in the Movie Tasks panel on the left hand side, and this starts off the Save Movie wizard. We'll take most of the default options through here. We'll give the video a name. I'm going to call it a how-to video and click on Next. There are several options here for saving your file in different formats. The one I'm choosing is best quality for playback on my computer, which is the recommended one. But if you want to upload your movie to YouTube, or if you've got file size issues, or you've got a very large file, there are other choices there for reducing the quality and reducing the size. The movie file size is displayed in the bottom right hand corner of the Save Movie Wizard dialog window, and you can vary the quality depending on the size of disk space that you have available and what you want your movie size to be. I'm going to select the default here and click on Next. When you hit Next, Windows Movie Maker saves your movie for you. It does all the work for you, and you can see here it has a dialog box and it will save the movie and tell you how much time is left and so on. So when that's done, the completing the Save Movie Wizard dialog box will appear. You have an option here to play the movie when you click Finish, so I'm going to click on the Finish button. And when you do that, Windows Media Player will play the movie for you. So there you have it in a few short steps. Using standard tool like PowerPoint, you can create your PowerPoint presentation, easily narrate a voiceover for each of your slides, save your PowerPoint slides and audio files on a slide-by-slide basis, import those into Windows Movie Maker, use Windows Movie Maker to create your Windows Movie video, and play your video. I hope you found this short video useful. Thank you for your attention.